Hello, guys. Thank you for coming. Thank you for being here. And before I continue, I would like to say once again, thank you to the organizers, to this amazing event. It's a pleasure and an honor to be here to share this sheer amount of creative energy, passion you're having together, and most importantly, the fun you share. It's unbelievable and really overwhelming to see so many people sharing the passion under a single roof. And as a continuation of the lecture that Gorka already presented to you about the history of video games, I just wanted to ask you, isn't it absolutely amazing when you look back to see the progress of video game, the history and the progress of video game music over the course of the past 25 years? I mean, when you look into the big brother, the film music, what the film's music managed to achieve for 120 years, the video game music managed to achieve and to reach the same level of production values and artistic values for like 25 or 30 years, to the point that even the prestigious awards Grammy acknowledged that the music is an art on its own right and included the video game music in the same category like the film soundtrack. For me, this is absolutely mind-blowing and amazing, and it makes me very happy and proud. Proud because I consider myself not just a composer, I'm a video game composer. And it makes a difference because for me, the video game music has its own challenges. And the biggest challenge of all of it is that the video game music needs to be interactive and needs to be adaptive. This means that whatever decisions you're taking in the game, whatever actions you're taking in the game, the video game music needs to adapt and needs to change in real time to follow your decisions and your actions in the game. And before I go, I just want to clarify something very important. Very often the video game music is labeled interactive and adaptive. But the real question is, what does it mean? Is there any difference between those two different terms to describe the same thing? And for me, the easiest way to show you the difference the way I see it is to give you an example. Here is an example for interactive music. When you play a game and you change from one area to another, the music changes accordingly, right? If you are in the sunny forest and then you jump into the dark cave over there, the music changes just to reflect the brand new area and the brand new situation. This is a really good example of interactive music. So what difference does it make? What exactly does adaptive music means? Well, let me give you another example. In your adventures, you encounter a bunch of people who are struggling and they need your help. They need help to survive. So you are provided as a player a choice. Option number one, you can help those people. Then if you help the people, the music changes into something noble and heroic, something positive, because you just decided to do something really positive and to help those poor guys. But you have another option, option number two, to ignore the poor souls and to proceed with your own mission. You don't care about these people. Then the music should adapt accordingly, and the symphonic music that accompanies your adventure in this very moment should adapt and should change to reflect your decision. Or maybe you would go for option number three, when you would like to capitalize on the situation to rob these bastards in your eyes and be a really villain, the anti-hero, for who the most important thing always and ever is to capitalize and to put everything in favor of his own agenda. So you see, in the first example, the music changes with one piece to another to reflect the different areas, while here we have the same situation, but we have different colors, different moods, and according to the decisions you're taking, according to the actions you are taking in the game, the music needs to change accordingly to keep your cinematic immersion, to elevate the narrative design and the story to the next level. Because at the end of the day, one of the most important purposes of the adaptive music is to be fully driven and in support of the narrative design, especially when we're talking about role-playing games. And today, instead of talking too much, even though I love listening to my voice, as Gorka knows, I decided to make a presentation for you where each and every one of you can take part. I'm going to show you how the adaptive music, how the symphonic adaptive music works in real time, but I'm not going to do it on my own. I'm going to be using your decisions and your actions to change the course of the adaptive symphonic music here and now. So here's the deal. Whenever you would like to change the music in one direction or another, to be heroic, to be dark, to be evil, to be noble, to be light, to be dark, to be action, to be calm, raise your hand, give me a sign, and we're gonna follow this direction of yours. How does that sound? Okay? Cool. And before we proceed, let me ask you a question. Do we have people here who play Dungeons and Dragons or role-playing games in general? Can you show me by raising your hand? Cool, okay. Don't be shy, just show me so that I have an idea and so that I can tailor the presentation accordingly, because what I would like to do tonight, how about we make a D&D Dungeons and Dragons session, but from the music perspective? So depending on the decisions we take in our D&D session, the music will change accordingly. Do you like the idea? Or should I just keep talking and listening to my voice? Okay, that's how I thought. Excellent. Okay, so without further ado, let's jump and hear the real deal. You know, we are tired of talking and presentations, and you know, one of my main goals tonight is to keep you awake until the end of my lecture. Hopefully, I'll manage to succeed. So here's the deal. I will start our role-playing adventure. Imagine that we have just crashed and we found ourselves on the beach of a big river. A few moments ago, we were on the brink of fatal end, but somehow we managed to survive. And now we are waking up. Give me a few moments to start the engine. It's a big and heavy machine. Okay, so as you can hear, the music is not exactly pleasant and not exactly positive, right? So we have two options. We go on the right side, on the sunny beach, or we go left and approach this crash site over there. It's full of dead bodies, it's very dark and very unpleasant location to be at this very moment. So make a choice, left or right, sunny beach or the crash site. You want dead bodies? He's a sinister guy, I tell you that. Okay, so we go left. So we decide to proceed in this direction. What happened with the music, guys? Is the music telling us that there's something wrong there, that we should be careful? Okay, so we have two options. Go back because it's really scary, and we can still have the time to go back and to regroup and have a rest on the sunny beach, or we can move further and enter the crash site full of dead body, blood, and nasty creatures. I can't hear you. Let's go in the crash site. Are you sure? I don't know. I really don't know, but okay, it's on you guys. We are carefully and slowly start entering the crash site. We look left, we look right, everything is in flame and black smoke, dead bodies all over the place. And let me ask you a question. Is the music reflecting this decision of ours? What happened with the symphonic piece of music, which we've been listening a few moments ago? Does it reflect the new situation? Did you notice the transition, or was it really smooth and adaptive in a way that you had a feeling it was composed and changed right here, right now, to reflect your own decision? Okay, so we have an option here. We move a little bit farther But I'm telling you, we might find ourselves in a fight because these nasty creatures over there haven't noticed us, but if we make even a step farther, a fight will start. And I'm not sure we're gonna survive it. It's up to you. Go back to the sunny beach or move forward. Back to the beach. Excellent. So, we quickly run away from this place as fast as we can because we're not stupid after all, right? We want to see another day, to live another day, to think about it, to regroup, to recover, and eventually get back to the crash site. What happened with the music? Are we on the sunny beach now? Does the music tell in our soul? How about the transition? How about this transition of the same symphonic piece of music, the same composition, the same tuning, changing from dark and sinister harmonies into a new, completely different key harmonies? Does it feel like the sun is shining within the very composition already? Yes? No? Okay, cool. We spent some time here, and on the following day, I suggest we go back to the crash site if you want to really explore and to see if we can deal with those creatures. Would you like to do so? Okay, now that we managed to have some nice rest, to recover our energy, we get back and we approach the beach and we moved further and we slowly entered the crash site again. And what is the music telling us? Is it safe, or are the nasty creatures still there? Is it safe? Yes or no? Okay, we move a bit farther. What is the music telling us now? Danger ahead. So even if we make another step farther and we find ourselves in a nasty encounter and we need to deal with those creatures, let's do it. I believe we are ready. Are we ready, guys? Yes. Raise your hands if we are ready. Woo! That's how I like it. So we move a step farther, and what happens? The fight starts. Okay. Here we are. In our first encounter. So we have two ways here. We can win, we can lose. Are we winning or are we losing, guys? Tell me. Losing, winning? I say we vote. Who is for losing? Raise your hands if we are losing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, who is for winning? Okay. So obviously we are winning. And the music is showing us. What happened with the music? Is it victorious now? Is this the same piece of music? Is this the same composition? Is it? Yes or no? Raise your hand if you're convinced that this is the same piece of music. Cool, okay. Now the fight goes on and on and on and on, but we are exhausted. And there is a moment I'm not quite sure we're gonna win. So tell me, are we losing again or not? Losing. Something happens, a fatal blow, a critical strike on our mage. He's down and we are losing the bloody battle. So what's gonna happen with the music now? You heard the killing blow, right? Did you hear the blow? What happened with the music? Does the music feel like it was being infected by these little creatures, these nasty little bastards that are crawling upon us? Do you feel the music being infected? Yes? No? Okay. But somehow I think we find a way to escape the bloody situation, regroup ourselves, and try to turn the table. Shall we, or shall we lose the battle? Who is for winning? Woo! Okay, so we managed to win this battle, and we move on. And there is a camp over there. Do we want to enter the camp? Okay. So we decide to enter the camp, to seek for shelter, seek food. And the music is telling us that this is a calm place, right? However, is it a happy, calm place, or is it rather... Okay, that's right. It's peaceful, but something in the music is telling us that this is not the really safe and happy place. We look around and we have a couple of options. There is a cave on the right side, and there is a house on the left. Where we would like to go? Raise your hand and tell me. House. We entered the house and we saw some people arguing. They are fighting with one another. Is the music reflecting this change in the situation? Is this the same composition, but all of a sudden it transformed into a tension, into something that is telling us that these people are arguing, they're fighting with one another, and something real bad might happen any moment now? So, okay, we can get involved or we can get out. So for the sake of the presentation, I suggest we get out to see what's going to happen with the music, okay? So we decide not to get involved and we quickly get out of this house. So what happens with the music? Is the music reflecting this decision of ours? Is it smooth? Is it instant? Is it happening right here, right now to reflect the very decisions we are taking together? Raise your hand if you agree with me. Woo! So you're following. That's pretty good. Thank you so much. Okay, let's take one final step. Let's go deep down into this cave because I'm really curious what's going to happen with the music if we step down and go deep into this cave. Would you allow me to do so? Okay, let's do this. What happened with the music? Did the music reflect the decisions that we were taking level down and we entered the cave or not? Yes, exactly. All of a sudden the beautiful guitar sound, step back, step down off the stage of the adaptive music, and all the dark colors enter the stage to replace this beautiful guitar sound, to represent the brand new atmosphere and situation, going down and deep into this cave. Well, that was it. Did you like it? Thank you so much, guys. You are real heroes, taking into consideration circumstances. I'm very, very proud of you that you managed to stay focused and to help me to make a presentation here and now. So, when we talk about adaptive symphonic music and the present of adaptive symphonic music, this is what I meant. Music which changes and adapts in real time. Music where the key, the harmonies change and morph into one another to reflect the decisions and actions in our adventures, to reflect the key story moments, to reflect the change into the situation. Whether we jump into a fight, whether we are losing, winning, whether we are acting like noble heroes, or we decide to be the bastards into the game. In other words, adaptive music is the music which is shaping according and around our own decisions to follow and to be fully driven by the narrative design of the game itself. It took me quite some time to develop this prototype 5 years ago, but I'm very happy to tell you that it not only works fine, but this is the second game we at Larian Studios use it as a foundation to build our own in-house adaptive music systems. And we are talking about the present of the adaptive music. Naturally, we come to the question, what is the future of the adaptive music? I can think about it, and the first ideas that come to mind are the following. How about music which not only changes according to our own decisions and actions, but also according to the life and breathing world around us? So far, all the changes that you witnessed were based on the decisions and actions that you were taking, right? How about if the world has a lot of systems, and depending on those systems, one kingdom can conquer another one, and what would happen with the music? The conqueror will not only bring the rule, but he'll also bring the new culture in the new place. So how about today I enter this beautiful village and a beautiful folk music is playing. On the following morning, the neighbors conquered the same village, and all of a sudden the music is different because the conquerors, they bring not only their military force, but also their culture, their music, and their own songs. Wouldn't it be really nice? And recently I was playing a game called Mountain Blade, which is full of amazing systems where even if you do nothing, if you just sit and relax and do nothing in the game, it's a live breathing world and everything is changing dynamically in real time, and the political map and the countries and the kingdoms, they're in constant change, progress, decay, whatever happens randomly in this beautiful world. And I was thinking, what about adaptive music, which changes not only according to my actions and decisions, but also to the changes that happen randomly, totally randomly and totally unexpectedly in this life and breathing world? This would be something, this could be a really nice direction for the adaptive music to head for. Or maybe something, how about right at the start of the game, of a role-playing game, maybe one of the next role-playing games, judging by the choices you make, you also select the style and the type and the instrumentation of the soundtrack, the way you would like to experience the music in your adventures. That will be another. Or maybe we can go even more brave and we can attach some sensors to our heart, to our pulse, and depending on how excited, how frightened we are, the music goes up and down, left and right, intensive or calm, shiny or dramatic, dark or intensive. Does this sound like a beautiful way to adapt the gameplay experience to your own experience and to put everything that you experience on the next level? These are just ideas, but I'm very happy to let you know that we already made the first steps, and in the previous game of ours, Divinity Original Sin 2, I'm very happy to tell you that I made the first steps, and the moment you create your role-playing characters, you can also select your music instrument right at the start of the game. And by selecting your preferred music instrument, the soundtrack changes in one direction or another, because the music instrument you select is taking the lead and making accents and changing the course of the music throughout your adventures in the world of Rivellon, in the world of Divinity. I can go on and tell you many and many ideas because the adaptive music can be developed and can make a progress in many different directions, not only in the video games but also in the board games. Maybe we're gonna leave the day when we can experience an album, and right before we start playing the brand new symphonic album, we are provided with a questionnaire. How would you like to experience this brand new symphonic album? Would you like it to be dramatic? Would you like it to be romantic? Would you like it to be a mix between all the colors and different moods listed above? And depending on your answers and your choices, then you press play and you experience your personal adventure, your personal music adventure for this very symphonic album. And of course, at the end, there is an option. I prefer to experience this music the way the composer envisioned it for the very first time. Does this sound like an exciting new idea to develop the adaptive music, to push the adaptive music, and to step in the future? Well, guys, I believe it's going to be a good ending line to tell you that each and every idea that I mentioned tonight for you is possible to be achieved with the current technologies, with all the tools and software we have in our hands, at our disposal. And I believe that it's just a matter of time. Each and every idea I mentioned tonight is going to be developed by my colleagues and hopefully by myself, one way or the other. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you very much for your attention. I'd be happy to answer any questions that you like now or afterwards. Don't hesitate to keep in touch, to get in touch with me via the social media or after the lecture. And last but most importantly, please keep the passion alive. Keep the passion alive for video games, for music, and for being creative. Thank you.
Hi.
Yeah.
Hi. Thanks for the presentation. I was thinking if this could also be adapted to multiplayer games, where maybe depending on how the course of the game is going, like who is winning, or like the characters of each person or whatever, the soundtrack could change in real time. And
Absolutely.
I don't know if maybe each player would experience it differently, or if they could experience all the same. I don't know. Just ideas.
This is an amazing question. I love it, and I can tell you that in Divinity Original Sin 2, if you play with your friends, each and every of your friends can select different music instrument. And depending on the instrument your friends select, within a battle, the music changes one direction or another, depending on who is taking the action right now. If your friend is landing a killing blow, his instrument or her instrument is going to get on stage and shape and push the music into a specific direction. Then, if you take the initiative in your hands, your music instrument is gonna shape the soundtrack in a completely different direction depending on the character, the soul, and the type of instrument you prefer to select right in the start of the game. For instance, you can select cello, but you can also select something really beautiful and gentle like flute or bansuri in the case of Divinity Original Sin 2. So going back to your question, it's not only possible, but it's really, really beautiful to use the concept of adaptive music for multiplayer games. And yes, you can use the music to create different colors and different layers, and depending on who is playing at the moment, the music goes left, right, and depending on if you have your music identity and your buddy has another one. How about when you join forces to fight the boss over there, both music identities merge together to create something new, which is a combination of your music themes? How does that sound? That's fully possible, my friend, and fully achievable with the current technologies. I hope this answers your question.
Hello, just a question. Is your is your engine actually mixing interactive music with adaptative? I mean, in some way, like for example, if I go to a dark
Can,
forest.
can you speak a bit louder, please?
Sorry. I am asking if your actual engine is trying to merge the adaptive music with the interactive music. In the way, for example, if you make it interactive because I'm choosing one character of my party, or I am in a specific location, like a dark booth, if this dark booth has like a soundtrack for his place, and you are making something like fighting or any other stuff, just to make it adaptive, trying to merge those things in one music.
This is a really good question, and I cannot give you a simple answer because the adaptive music is carefully designed, and there are specific rules. So, right at the start of the production process, first, of course, I get familiar with the game itself. I get familiar with the narrative design, with the world, and then I decide what are the main pillars of the adaptive music system. And I take some really key important decisions, how I'm gonna design and eventually implement the music. One of the rules that I base and build the music system on is merging different layers and tracks. Another rule is make a matrix with different transitions, for instance. If I would like to modulate from one piece to another, then I have a transition which helps me to modulate from key A to key B, just using this transition in between so that it feels smooth, nice, and totally natural. Because at the end of the day, we would like to feel like we are playing a movie, right? And it should be not abruptly, but rather smooth and natural. So to go back to your question, there are different rules, and one of those rules is based on merging different cues and different layers, but there are many, many more.
Yeah, my meaning is if you have some interactive, just like theme, for example, if you are in a booth with some dark music, over that you can have your interactive, because in that dark booth, I mean, I can fight, I can just find something dead, or just have a segment, or...
Let me give you an example. I believe this is going to be a good insight about the rules I'm using to design and to implement the adaptive music in our games. In this specific case, when the music needs to change from light to dark, let's use simple terms for the sake of the lecture, I use two simple but very clean rules. The first one, I need to change the harmony. You understand what I'm saying? To change the harmony, we need to make it in a very smooth and clever way. Otherwise, it's going to feel like we are changing one piece of music with another one. And this is not what we would like to do, right? We would like to achieve seamless and very smooth transition, a transition which you simply cannot notice. To do so, I'm slowly passing through different layers of music, which allow me first to change the harmonies from, cue A to cue B. Second, to change the key. And third, to infect the melody, if you like. Because with the example of going from the sunny beach to the crash site full of dead bodies, we need to not only change the key, but we also need to make a complete overhaul of the harmonies to fully underline and to fully immerse the player into the brand new situation. So going back and summarizing what I'm telling is that I'm using a set of different rules which I use to implement the adaptive music transitions from one cue to another. In some cases, I might merge different layers. In another, I can use a transition from cue A to cue B. In another one, I might need to make a combination between those two. So it really depends on the different situation. But at the end of the day, the most important thing is that I always strive to make custom tailored adaptive music transitions, because I don't believe in automatically computer generated music and transitions. I'm not saying that we cannot produce a meaningful and serviceable music, but for me the most important thing is for the music is to be full of emotion and full of passion, to be genuine. I really need the players to feel the human touch in our games, in our soundtracks. And I believe that the only way to achieve this is to tailor each and every piece of music and transition in a custom way. Okay. Thank you so much, guys. Once again, please don't hesitate to get in touch with me. I'd be really happy to talk with each and every one of you who is interested in adaptive music. And we can continue this discussion anywhere, anytime you like. Thank you.